This is the plaintiff, Mark O'Brien. He says the defendant borrowed money from him, used it for some unsavory things unbeknownst to him, and won't pay him back. He's had it with all the drama, just wants his money and is suing for $7,000, his state's maximum. This is the defendant, Michael O'Callahan. He says he did borrow money from the plaintiff, but he gave him his climbing equipment as collateral. They had an agreement. If he didn't pay the plaintiff back, he could sell his equipment. He told the plaintiff if he needs the money now to go ahead and sell his stuff, but he's decided to sue instead. He's accused of fouling up a friend.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The defendant borrowed money from the plaintiff. The dispute is over whether the plaintiff has to just keep the rock climbing equipment he got as collateral or whether he can sue. It's the case of antisocial climber.
Thank you, Douglas. Mark O'Brien?
Yes.
You are suing Michael O'Callahan for $7,000. That exceeds, you actually say he owes you more than that. That's your statutory max in Massachusetts. $2,000 loan that you made to him that you say he hasn't repaid, and $200 of an advance that you gave to him for work to be done, but you've decided to triple that $2,500 and make it into a $7,000 claim?
That's correct.
Okay. I'm dying to hear your authority for that. Talk to me. Tell me what happened between the two of you.
Well, I had known him previously as a result of his visitations to my cousin's garage. And I got to talk to him, know him a little bit, knew what his background was, tower climber. And
what's a tower climber?
Build cell phone towers, telecommunications.
Okay.
Yep. And my cousin had a wind tower with a turbine on it back in the 70s, and there was problems with the turbine. And then the company went out of business, so he just left the tower up. The turbine was gone, and he said he'd give me the tower. And I talked to Mike, and he said he'd take it down for me for a certain charge. And so we agreed to do that.
Wait, he would take the tower down and you would put it where?
In Maine, on my property in Maine.
Where you, okay, so go on.
And so that worked out well, and I paid him. He took the tower down, did a good job. And then he still wasn't working as a result of, he said, an injury took place with him. And so I said to him, on the property where I'm caretaking in Manamet, Massachusetts, if you need some more work, I need some help with cutting and splitting wood. So he agreed to that. And so I paid him for what he did, cutting and splitting wood. And then he asked me for a loan because he'd gained my trust and confidence. And so I said, okay, I've got the money right now. And I can pay you, I can loan you the cash. And so we wrote it down, and he gave me collateral to cover the value of the loan.
Can I see what you wrote down?
Yep.
I'm sorry, you mean you took notes, or you mean that you guys have a contract?
We got a contract.
Okay. So you loaned it to him on February 16th of this year, and then he was supposed to pay back on March 3rd?
He said he could.
Okay. And who were the witnesses?
Michelle Sullivan to my right, and Jake Raymond to the defendant's
Well, that's convenient.
left.
So can you both stand up? First of all, did you sign this?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so that you can both sit down. So you don't deny that you borrowed $2,000?
Not one bit.
All right. Do you say to him, "Hey, it's March 2nd. You haven't paid me. What's going on?" What happens there?
There was some communication and attempts to get repaid the money that I borrowed.
The money that he borrowed,
right.
not you borrowed.
That he borrowed.
Okay.
And I'll pay you, and that's all I got. Just words.
And then tell me about this advance to the work to be done.
After he took down the tower and I paid him, I gave him $200 to put the tower back up on my property in Maine.
Okay, and that didn't happen. Why?
I just didn't have the time to do it.
You didn't have the time. Okay. And then, so you gave him $200 towards putting it up in Maine.
Correct.
And then you don't want to work with him anymore because now you don't trust him. Okay.
That's it.
Tell me your side of things.
I don't deny I borrowed the money, which I did.
It's sort of hard to do when you have
Yeah, exactly.
have it in writing and
I
have
wasn't
two
denying
witnesses,
it
but
at all.
okay, that's big of you.
I was supposed to go back to work, didn't, because I got to go back in for another back surgery. I I gave him my climbing equipment, which is
As collateral.
as collateral. It's, about almost $7,000 brand new.
You have the climbing equipment, right?
I do.
Okay.
Then obviously I didn't pay him on time. So we had spoken. I told him he was actually at my house, and I told him to sell it, and it will take
You
care
sell
of
it.
Well, he had it, so
You sell it. I got a buyer. He's coming to your
Well-
house to pick it up. He's going to pay you directly, and then he'll pay you $2,000. He'll give me the rest of the money. You
Yeah.
sell it.
All
Why
right.
does he have to sell it?
well, that was the agreement that we made. I said, go ahead
Show
and
me
sell
where
it.
it says
Well-
that that the agreement is he has to go through all of the effort. What are you doing that you can't sell it? You're not working right now, right?
No, I'm not.
Okay, maybe there's no buyer. Maybe that's what's going on.
there
Like, why
might
does he
not
have
be.
to have
I
the
don't
onus
know.
to sell it? Collateral's collateral. I can choose, if I have collateral, to go against the collateral, but I may really want the green because I can't pay my mortgage with your collateral climbing equipment. You understand?
Yeah.
All right, so go on.
And then when I cut down the trees with him, he had paid me to cut down the trees, but he had deducted it from my balance.
He paid you or he didn't?
He didn't pay me, but he said that I'll take it off your balance.
How much is it?
I think it came to $400.
Okay,
I
watch
believe.
this. Did that happen?
No.
Okay. So how are you going to prove that part? Did you get it in writing?
No, I didn't get it in writing, but he was also
Okay,
there.
come on up. Talk to me.
Yes, I was there. He had it written down. He did write it down. Say like each day that we worked, he was taking the money out of him.
Who had it written down?
Mark did.
Okay, well, why were you working? You don't have a debt to him.
No, I was working for him. He was paying me cash.
Who was paying you cash?
Mark was.
So Mark paid you how much in the time that you were there?
I want to say around 400.
Well, you want to say it, or
Yeah,
it's
I'm not
truthful?
sure exactly what it was. It was he paid
Did you
cash
pay
every day.
him for? So what are you saying that Mark's supposed to pay $800 for you guys splitting wood?
Well, he paid each of us by the hour. He was paying us $15 an hour. He paid me cash. Mike owed him money, so he was taking it off the balance that Mike
Okay,
owed
what
him.
is your response to that?
That's not true.
Well, what is true? Because he's not working for free when he's cutting wood for you.
I paid him.
And you're clearing land? What is it you're
Yeah,
doing?
we took down
Yes.
quite a few trees.
How many?
Probably 16,
Yeah, something like
give or take.
Okay, and the other fellow says that you did pay him by the hour and that you paid him $400.
I paid them both by the hour.
So what are you saying? That you did pay him by the hour and you gave him $400 when he owes you $2,000?
Yes, he said he was going to pay it all at once.
You did that?
Yeah, he said he was going to pay it all in one lump sum.
Because he says you didn't do that. And he says you didn't do that.
Well,
So does the plaintiff have to sell the rock climbing equipment, or is he allowed to just sue?
Sue.
Sue. What do you think? I mean, can he sue, or does he have to? Is he stuck?
He should be able to sue for the $2,000 because, I mean, he gave $2,000. He didn't give, like, any equipment or anything. He gave them money, so he should get money back.
Fair enough. Going inside the courtroom.
Tell me about the advance work to be done.
To be honest with you, I totally forgot all about the $200.
But it's truthful?
But yes, he did give me an advance and said when he brings the tower to Maine, I can put it up for him, which
Okay.
he hasn't done that, hasn't brought it to Maine.
Okay. But it was $200.
Yeah.
Okay, I find that you have clearly proven that there was a loan. The question becomes then, is there some money that should be deducted from that loan? And I find that based on the testimony in front of me, there is some money that should be deducted from that loan. So if I take the $2,000 and I deduct $400 in labor, and that I add $200, which is what he admits to regarding the advanced work, I find in favor of the plaintiff in the amount of $1,800. But before I bang a gavel, I want to understand how in your world a $2,500 lawsuit becomes a $7,000 lawsuit.
I wanted to open his eyes. There was no other way
Why
to
don't
get
you
a
sue for $1
response.
million or $5 million or $20 million?
They
You
wouldn't
don't want his
allow it.
eyes that open?
Wouldn't allow it.
Okay, well, no, that's not allowed either. You can't just make up stuff in court. Verdict for the plaintiff, $1,800.
Let's see what the tower climber has to say about this outcome. 1,800 goes over to the plaintiff. What's your reaction to that?
It is what it is. I borrowed the money. I never denied that. And,
What'd you need the money for?
I was out of work, bills, child support, you know, typical everyday
And
expenses.
how come you couldn't pay him back?
Because I was supposed to go back to work, but I'm going back in front of the back surgery. So
Are you going to be able to go back to work?
climbing, I don't know.
Are you a tower climber too?
No.
What do you do?
Floors.
Floors. Okay. Head right around the corner there. Okay, document. All right, come on in here. Are you satisfied with what you got out of this?
Well, I'll have to be.
Yeah. What's the idea of $7,000? I mean, like the judge said, you can't just make up a number coming to court.
I couldn't get his attention any other way.
Well, suing him for the right amount.
Maybe that would have woken him up.
What about getting it in writing when you loan somebody money?
I
Good
did
idea.
most of it. Oh, yes.
Yeah, good idea. People's Court rule number 1. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Harvey?
There are cases where if somebody gets the money through fraud, you might get punitive damages. That's not the case here generally. You just don't get them in a loan case.